Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to Liquidity. Today we'll be talking on general ICT entry technique pattern sorry. That means what you should see before you enter a trade. These are the criteria that must be met before you enter a trade. You understand? So in the market, we always have at any point in time. There's always a buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity. Now, buy side liquidity can either be um, equal highs or just recent highs, or it can be higher time frame um, buyers like fair value gap or order block in the higher time frame. That's what your buy side liquidity can be. And same with your sell side liquidity, equal lows in this case, because we're looking at the bearish form now. So in this case, you can be targeting your equal lows or recent lows. You understand? So you have a buy side liquidity, which is BXL, and sell side. That's the two things you want to mark out in before taking a trade or while doing your analysis. Buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity. The next, you want to see a VID. So, which is called a turtle soup. So this is the first one, general ICT entry technique patterns. So this is going to be talking about, this is going to be talking about what you should say before you take a trade. So the first one is VID or turtle soup. It's also called turtle soup. VID means let market take the buy side liquidity. That is also refers to as turtle soup. So when I say something VID, it's VID on top the buy side. You understand? So if it's for a long trade, you want it to VID the sell side first, then you target buy side. But since this is a short trade, this is a short example, which is a sell trade. You wanted to VID the buy side first, which is also known as turtle soup or liquidity grab. So it has grabbed the liquidity here. Remember I said we used to denote it in my last video. We denote it as the dollar sign. Sorry. We can denote it as the dollar sign too, which is this, meaning market has VID the liquidity on top of this, which is this whole stuff. This is where the VID took place. This. So after market VID liquidity, you want to see a market structure shift, which is the second one. You follow this criteria. You can write this in your journal. So you make sure you're following this. So the next stuff you want to see is market structure shift or change of character. Remember I explained change of character in my last video also. So change of character. That means what you want to make sure here is the leg, there is this leg that took the liquidity, that made the VID. You understand? That took liquidity, the leg that took the liquidity. You want to make sure price break that leg, which is this. Price has broken it here, which is what will enable the change of character, that is market structure shift. That's number 2. Then after the market structure shift, which is this, after it broke it, you want to make sure there's enough displacement. I mean, you want to make sure it goes down a lot, not just getting to this point and returning back. Now, what is displacement? Displacement is the calculation from the top of the VID to that bottom of the shift. You understand? This is enough displacement. This is good. That's why we're having almost 2,672 points. But assuming you're trading on Forex and others, here will be more reduced. Gold calculation is more different. So you want to see a nice displacement. But most times, this is the proper way to calculate the displacement. But I like calculating it from after the break. Sorry, I like calculating my displacement from after this break. So I want to see enough displacement down to the downside. That's meaning of displacement. You want to make sure it displaces away from the structure break, the exchange of character. Then after that, the next one is return entry techniques, meaning it should return to either fair value gap of that displacement leg, that is the displaced leg. You understand? You want it to either return to the fair value gap or breaker block. You understand? Or other block. Then you can use OT and entry. This is the return. Price is going back. You understand? Using your fib, that is the OT. This OT is standing for optimal trade entry. But in this example here, this is return to the fair value gap. You understand? The other examples I showed the breaker block and all. Then the OT, optimal trade entry, that stands for your optimal trade entry. Using the fib retracement tool, I'll be teaching you I'll be teaching you guys that. Then or gaps, either if you see any gaps here or you see a volume imbalance, which I already explained, you can also use that as your entry. Then next, what you want to do is your stop loss should be at the top of the read. It will be at the top of the read, which is for the sell trade. Alright, if it is for a buy trade, it will be at the bottom. So this is the top of the read. This is where my stop loss is, as you can see. You understand? That's where your stop loss should be. And your take profit or objective, that means your target, should be the recent lows, which is sell side liquidity. Recent lows equal lows or highs. You understand? With all entry technique of the higher time frame, which I'll be explaining later in some examples. So what I mean by with all the entry technique on the higher time frame, all the entry technique, which is this order block. So there can be an order block at the bottom, or let's say fair value gap too, or OTE, or gaps or volume imbalance. When prices, your objective is getting to that point, you want to get out of the trade, so your take profit can be at that levels. When we're taking examples, you're going to understand more on that. Now, I just want you to note the middle of an order block is called mean threshold. So when you have an order block, the middle is called mean threshold, and I've explained what an order block is. Why the middle of a fair value gap or long wicks. When you have a candle that is having a long wicks, the middle of that long wick, only the wick, whether bottom or top, but the wick must be a long one. The middle is called consequent encroachment, CE. You understand? Short form as CE. So you want to take note of that. So this is what you want to. These are the criteria you want to make sure you mark your boss ticks all before you enter a trade. So first, you want a raid to take place. After that, you want the market structure shift breaking the leg that made that raid. So this is the leg that made the raid. You want a market structure shift breaking that leg. Then next, make sure there's enough displacement. Then look for your entry in either the fair value gap, order block, volume imbalance, gaps, breaker block, and all. So this example for a fair value gap. This is an example for an order block. So price read this, it breaks below with displacement. Now it's returning. You can enter in your order block. I explained order block is the last candle this was the last candle. When you stretch it, this is supposed to be an sorry, your breaker block. This is supposed to be an order block, but price broke it. Then that's what made it a breaker block. You understand? Now the next is your um optimal trade entry. I want to explain this. Let me take off this too so you can understand. So how did I get this point? Because see, there's nothing on this leg. You'll be confused. Okay, it's not entering the fair value gap. I'm not entering my breaker block. How did I get this point? It's something called the OTE. OTE. Let me type it out. OTE. Optimal trade entry. Optimal trade entry. That's what it stands for. Write that down, please. Now, what is an optimal trade entry? Is using these tools. Your fib. So how do you want to use it? You see, it's called the Fibonacci retracement tool. You take that Fibonacci retracement tool. If it's a sell trade, after price is returning, and you want to enter with your whole trade or OTE, you put, if it's a sell trade, you put you anchor your first, you anchor the optimal, the fib retracement to the at the top of the vein to the bottom of the market structure shift. That means the displacement leg. You see, extend it in time. You understand? Leave it. Now, what you're targeting is from 0.79 to 0.618. Those are your that's your optimal trade entry area. So you want to carry this and maybe put it from that point down to that point and extend it. This is your optimal trade entry. So now you can delete this. You don't need this again. You understand that I got this? You understand that? Now, if it's for a buy trade, remember this is a sell trade, right? So a buy trade, you're going to be anchoring it from the bottom to top. Sell trade from top to bottom. Don't forget that. So the next and last one will be the order block. Now this order block, you understand price read, right? Market structure shift, which is this. Then a nice displacement. Then return to order block. Now this order block is mostly how the SMC traders do trade. Now there's no difference between SMC because I know for the newbies you'll be saying SMC and ICT and you'll be getting confused. SMC is just standing for smart money concept, and ICT standing for inner cycle trader. It's the two concept of two trading styles by one man. The same man I told you guys to be watching ICT, Michael, that's his name, and SMC is like his old style of trading. So his student that he teach that he taught that style, the one that started calling it SMC. They look for a name and push it out and all. So that is just that himself has already stopped trading like that. So most of the SMC trader you see they usually enter in an order block. Most of the entry is usually an order block. You understand? Now, if you want to know a order block that will actually work well, you want to see a fair value gap below that order block. You understand? That's an order block that might actually kick off well. So it's like this. Let's say this is the fair value gap. I'm making an example now. So after price get there, you might see a wick just going up to the order block, then crashing down. That was how most of the SMC traders enter. That's why you see their stop loss so tight because they enter using an order block technique to entry, but they're still trading ICT. still held by the same person, so there's no difference. Now, don't forget to at least write this down in your journal and keep it. So let's see the chart so you understand what I'm trying to say. So we have like 4 entry there, right? So we'll be looking for the 4 entry in this place. So first thing I said, you should mark two stuff, right? So let's say price was at this point. You want to mark your buy side liquidity, which is this buy side liquidity. That is your BXL, which I marked here. You see buy side liquidity. Then your sell side liquidity is your XSL. You understand? Buy side and sell side liquidity. So what happened next? What did I say? The next one is what? Market structure shift, right? No, next one, first one is red. So if you see price, let me zoom here in so that we can actually see it clearly. Yeah, so we're good now. So first you want to see the red. So this is the red, right? Now what did I say? Next one, you want to see price break that leg that made the red. So where's the leg that made the red? Let me zoom in more. This is the leg that made the red, right? So until price break this leg, that's why I'm putting this bulb. You're going to be seeing me putting this like this. That's I'm trying to put in your focus at that place. That's why I put the bulb there. That's the low I'm looking at. So if you see anywhere I put this low, just know that I'm expecting price to break that as a structure shift. You understand? So that's like a flash that let your high take. That's the low I'm looking. So this is the leg that took the buy side liquidity. This is an relative equal highs, right? So price took that liquidity. That's the first one read. Now second is market structure shift. So market you want price to break this low. That is the leg that made the read. You want price to break the low, which is what happened here. I did notice with the line there, but I'm noticing here with the bulb. So you see, price has broken it way past it, right? Now, then the displacement. You want to see displacement. Now, this is a nice displacement from here to here, right? This is a displacement too. So after that, what do you want to see? Return. Now you want to return to what? Let's take one first, the fair value gap. Now the fair value gap will be, look at this candle, first candle, second candle, and third candle. So the low of this to the high of this, there's a space there, right? Can you see the space? So the low of this candle to the high of this candle, that's what you're going to pick. That's what I'm picking. Now I'm using these two because I want a half. I don't want to be dividing myself. This particular two I use this parallel channel. It will just give you the middle of the fair value gap like that. And I told you the middle of the fair value gap is called what? CE. Consequence encroachment. From now on, I'm not going to be using that long word. I'll just be calling it CE. So I just wanted the CE, which is what I got. That's where I'll be entering, but you can still enter from here, you see. So this is the return. You don't care about all this noise. This is the structure you want. So after you see that it has broken it, you're putting your sell position here. You pick it, you put in your sell position here. For what I say, you target the top of the vid. That's where your stop loss will be. Then to the bottom of the sell side liquidity. This is a sell side liquidity, right? Now, you see how market went to the CE, went up, got to the CE of that fair value gap, then crashed straight down. That'll be your entry. This is where you'll be getting in at this point. So you can either put your entry point here or put your entry point at the middle. Anyone you're okay with. Still the same. It's just this will reduce your weeks, but you might not also get in the trade. You understand? So after that, let's say you want to enter with we've talked about fair value. Okay, basically you want to enter with an order block. You understand? Another block. Let me delete this. So you want to enter with an order block. Now this is an order block, right? This whole candle here is another block because I told you another block is the last up candle, whereby if you're seeing a downtrend, the last up candle that form before that downtrend is called another block. So from here to here is another block. But we can't just take all this, it will be too much. Remember, taking a trade from here, this last candle here is another block. So if you extend it like this is bad, right? So what you want to do, you just want the middle of that. You just want the middle of that other block. You don't need. That's why I said the middle of another block is what? Mean threshold. I talked about it. So if you can go back in time and go check mean threshold. So from here, sorry, I picked the wrong two. I want the middle. I want to measure the middle. So I can pick from here to here. Then extend it in time. I just want the middle. Then this is the middle CE. This is this mean threshold of that other block, the middle. So there where I'll be putting my entry. So I'll just pick my short position and put it here, anchor it there, put my stop loss there. So you see, it's like still entering on the fair value gap. Right, this is a nice 2-to-1 ratio, which is good. My least risk to reward ratio should be at least 2-to-1 or 1-to-1.5. It's also cool. I've seen traders that actually even do negative risk to reward ratio, but that is another story for another time. So that's for the other block, right? Now next is what the OTE, optimal trade entry, right? Now you're going to use this tool as I told you guys. Your fib, you can call it what I say at the top, right, to the bottom of the sheaf, then extend it in time, right? Extend it in time. What I say you do next, you pick in your box, then you pick from this. You're concerned with from 0 point, the line, the market from 0 point to this. That's what you're concerned with. Extend it in time. Then you're deleting this off. You don't need this anymore. You just need that box, right? Then you're putting your entry point there. Short position here. Stop loss at the top again. Can you see? I'm just using one chart, one example to get the 4 entry. Now the next one is your breaker block, right? So you want to be entering with your breaker block. Then your breaker block is your other block down to. So what will be your breaker block here? Since this is entry, so let's look for a breaker block now. Breaker block would be we don't have a clear breaker block here. This is another standard order block. So this is another block, right? Are you saying that this is another block? This. So we can pick this, or we can just pick this, which is what I've done. From here to here, we can extend it in time. So after price break that, which is what you're saying here. Now let's move. After price break that, what did I say? You want a return before you enter the sell trade. Short here, right? And put a stop loss at the box at the top of the breaker block. Then you target the recent lows below. Can you see how that play? It even gave us enough entry. Enough. After I broke it, it came down well. But it even did something called immediate rebalancing. You break it, came back, you see, put in the entry from this break. This is a breaker block here. After I broke it, came back once, then crash. Give another entry, crash, give another entry, crash, give another entry, before it crash finally. You understand? So you can also pick the target from here. Maybe the target will be this. So you extend it, put it like this. So if you're putting an entry here, your stop loss at the top there, then you target that the next low. So if you have entered from here from starting and you see price has broken here, you just move. Maybe you entered from here, you can just move your trade to break even, and that's all. So that's all you want. That's all you have to know about entry pattern. So always take note of that before. Take note of this. Write it down, please, and that'll be all for this section.